Submitting your app will begin the validation process. The complete validation criteria are listed on the Developer Program portal. Here are some of the major criteria. First of all, your application must be able to install correctly without any dependencies, launch from the desktop and command line on the target device, and then uninstall cleanly, leaving the system in its original state. Plus, the install-uninstall process must work without requiring user input. The MeeGo compliance explains this in greater detail for MeeGo apps. Intel also does a thorough validation of your application based on policy guidelines and checks to ensure that the application is free from malware, spyware, or any malicious code that could harm the user's system, software, data, or network. Applications containing malicious code or other potentially harmful internal components will be rejected. Applications that collect personal information without an explicit privacy policy that includes details on how and why personal information is gathered and disclosed will also be rejected, as will applications that share information with third parties without the user's consent. In short, any app that collects, records, or shares user data without explicit notification and consent will be rejected. This includes location, contacts, photos, audio and browsing history, communication, and other data stored or accessible by the device. Developers also need to own or have license rights to any content, artwork, and code used in their app. And inappropriate or unauthorized use of Intel trademarks, brands, and logos are not allowed. In addition, applications that contain nudity, pornography, or illegal content will be rejected. And Intel will check to ensure that the application's content is appropriate for the content rating that the developer assigned to it. Intel will also check for applicable use of the screen capabilities, input, and display for the target device. For example, confirming that the app is formatted appropriately for a netbook versus a tablet. And the application menus and user inputs will need to function as expected to pass validation. To protect consumers and ensure that the Intel AppUP Center offers quality applications, all applications must meet all of the criteria to be published. We encourage you to take advantage of the beta testing capability to ensure that your app meets all the criteria prior to submitting it for validation. For additional information that will help ensure smooth validation into the Intel AppUP Center, check out the resources listed here. The MeeGo quality and compliance guidelines are critical to make sure that your application is compliant with various MeeGo devices and applications. We'll look into this next. Now let's talk about MeeGo compliance. MeeGo compliance is defined by the Linux Foundation to ensure compatibility across applications and devices and help future-proof applications. The MeeGo compliance specification details both MeeGo core and MeeGo profiles. You can find packages that are part of the core and packages that are available only in certain verticals. For example, say you want your application to run on both netbooks and tablets. Your application should use only those packages that are in the core. Using a tablet-specific profile package does not guarantee you that it would run equally well on a netbook, as that package may not be available in the netbook profile. MeeGo compliance requires that each installer file is unique. And to help avoid multiple files with the same name, the naming convention for MeeGo compliance requires packages to be named in reverse order in lowercase, starting with domain name, for example, com, edu, org, etc., followed by the name of the registered organization and end with the application name. The first point on the slide is pretty straightforward. All of the libraries required for your application to install and run must either be specified in the MeeGo compliance specification or be bundled with the application. Dependencies can only be omitted if that doesn't result in unpredictable behavior. And if you make use of a third-party library that is not available in the core and profiles, you will have to bundle the library with your application package. This ensures that any dependencies that your application has are resolved at installation time. The application package also should comply with the RPM standard, and standard RPM commands should work as expected. For example, once you install the application, running a command like rpm-ql package name should list all the files bundled in this package. As we have previously covered, application package names should be named as domain.orgname.application-name. Since multiple applications can be installed into the same target device, every application is required to install in the /opt/domainname.orgname.appname folder to keep the installation path unique. Furthermore, all RPMs should have a .desktop file bundled with it to enable launching from the desktop. Upon installation, this .desktop file must be installed in /user/share/applications folder. In addition to the required install path, the .desktop file has a few more requirements. It has mandatory fields including name, comment, exec/link, icon, type, and categories. And if the icon is provided as a .png file, it needs to be made available in 4 different file sizes: 16 by 16, 32 by 32, 64 by 64, and 128 by 128, in order for the icon image to work well with different resolution devices and form factors. We hope this training has demonstrated how transparent and straightforward the Intel AppUP developer program submission and validation processes are for MeeGo applications. These processes are designed with the best user and developer experience in mind. By using these guidelines and resources, you can ensure a smoother submission and validation process and help to deliver the best app experience for consumers. Thank you for participating in this App Lab. For additional information, please visit these links.